Right, I've done row 3 on 6 petals, where I did a slip stitch, 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet in each of the next 3, 2 single crochet, and slip stitch. Okay, and now we're going to break this off and leave a 12-inch tail for sewing, it says on my written pattern that I wrote down myself. So I am going to leave a good generous tail, just like so, and then pull it through, and you want to pull the stitch up pretty tight. Okay, now these petals here that we made, the last ones we made, are your outer petals, and these are your inner petals. So I'm going to turn it over and start where my starting tail is, and then I'm going to fold it and just twirl it around. And you want to kind of keep this chain even, your foundation chain. And twirl. Just turn it like so. Now we're, excuse me, you got the inner petals done. Now see, your outer petals will curl outward just slightly. And you just keep turning it around. Like so. Now if you turn it over, that twirl, you want to kind of get that chain around itself so that it's flat, your foundation chain. Okay, pull this beginning tail down. Now on the previous one I did my foundation chain in green so that you could see where to sew it. Okay, where is my sewing needle? Right, I'm going to pause it here and go get my yarn needle, and I will show you how to sew this in position. So I'm going to sit this down and hit pause. You pause it too. My large tapestry needle. I like the Drits that you can get these at almost anywhere, and these are size 13s. I like to use for worsted weight yarn, and you'll use a smaller size for finer yarns and thread. So you take this end. Gonna figure out how I have it all wrapped up in here. Should be at the end of my, okay. This tail that you left off is only around to halfway on your rose, okay? So, but you thread that on your needle. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the center, because this is where I ended off. And then I'm going to just take and just weave this yarn all the way down to the bottom where my foundation chain is on this row. Like this. Okay. I'm going to flip this outer petals out of my way. And I'm going to secure the middle first. Now if you want to, you can do it from this side so you can see exactly where your stitches are going, everything. I like to do it from this side. It's just easier for me. Okay, and then all you do is you take your yarn and go underneath. Get this out of the way. Just that foundation chain that you worked in, and go all the way across. Like so. And then you want to come back, do it again. Do this 3 or 4 times. I like skip a stitch, go across, and rotate clockwise. Alright, and it looks good enough, and I'm not pulling it too tight because I want to be able to adjust my petals a little when I turn it back over. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm going to wrap the rest of my outer petals around, and you kind of want to center them slightly off center from the ones below it. Make sure your tail is below here, not caught up in your petals. And you bring them around. Okay, I've got my petals arranged the way I like them, so I'm going to turn it back over. And I'm going to continue sewing the rose in place, and this time I'm just going to go through the row I'm sewing on in the previous twist. I don't know how to word that. See, I'm going to just go through this one, the outer one I sewed on, and onto here. And I'm stretching it around slightly. I want it kind of tight to make it, you know, you can make these loose or tight because roses are in different stages of bloom. And I dropped my thread. Fold your yarn over your eye of your needle, slide it out, and pop it through. Little trick. And I'm going to continue sewing it like so. And it would be easier to see exactly where my stitches are if I used a different color for the foundation chain. But I think it looks a little nicer when you just use the same color, and then you don't have extra tails to draw in either. Okay, almost done. Probably should have left just a little bit longer of a tail when I finish that off. Now this end here, I'm going to tack that down a little too. Just like so. Okay, and then you just secure it by going around once more, and then you want to draw that tail through your stitches a little bit. Okay. Now this one isn't as flat on the bottom as my small one. This is one I used in the video. It's kind of flat right here. But that's okay. You do it till it looks good to you. And all roses are a little different. You're not going to find them all exactly alike. And that's what's organic about this pattern. They're not going to be the same. Okay? And so you can draw your tails in, and you can use a separate piece to sew on, because we're going to put a leaf on here, and you can sew on a leaf with a different piece, or you can just leave these on here and use them to attach the leaf. You can see I tied the leaf on with the pink onto this one. Alright, so that's the rose bud, or the rose flower, and we're going to get to the leaf in the next video. So I am going to end this here and put a link to the next video on here.